Yo, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know, man. It's that time again, the Monday Man Cave. As I always do here. MCXPRadio in the building for the BGSC network, holding it down. Man, appreciate you once again. You know it's me, your boy, the host, Hey Reed, the entrepreneur of this beautiful, wonderful thing that I do. Of course, I got my boy Brian, aka Broke Safety, in the building. We're gonna hold it down. We're gonna have a good show. Y'all already know how we do it, baby. Let's get this started.
Swagger pimp, yeah. Can't now another nigga like me. Yeah. Okay, it goes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rockin'. It's time for hip hop. On they reach watch, no sir, not for show. No bars made up of fairy tales. I'm trying for the tragedy, I know it well. So put your hands up in the air just for the winners. A peace sign the pimps, the prostitutes, the sinners. We all deserve a second chance, but we products of illusion and victims of our own circumstance. Apply the pressure, I bet you can. Live the life that you love, shout out to Rand. Love the life that you live, shout out again. It ain't a tough pill to swallow once you comprehend.
Yes, man. MCX for radio, like I always do it, man. Here on the Monday, represent the BGSE network, okay? Like I just said, I'm your host. Y'all already know. Your boy Reed chilling. My man Brian is in the building, man. You are officially kicking it in the Monday Man Cave. I appreciate you guys tuning in, logging in, joining in. Make sure that you guys are liking, subscribing, hit that bell, man. Anytime we come on, man, we got the notifications that pop up. You can go over there, man. You can check us out anytime all the different shows that we have going on, man. So I really appreciate the network. I appreciate you, the fans, everybody, man, that's been tuning in, everybody that's been logging in, joining in the conversations, man. Much love, much love, much love. Of course, please put your comments into the mix while we do this live show, man. Of course, I'll post it up. We're gonna talk about it. We'll have a good time. But without further ado, we got a lot of a lot of stuff to talk about. I know I kind of missed my words right there. So with that being said, let's get into 3 points. Here we go. Agree or disagree? All right, man. My first 3 points, man, we already know. Look, it is not finished. It is not finished. The NFL free agency is still going on, still going strong. I hope your teams are doing all right. I think my team has been doing quite a decent good job, man. Shout out to the Bengals, Got a couple of, plugs that we gotta, fill in, but it's just like every team. Shout out to my man Jay Stoggs when I was on the show with him. And man, he was hurt about what the Cowboys ain't doing. And he literally said, man, he's not gonna invest any more money into them guys, man, until they get their stuff on and popping. Look, to each his own, man. But every team has a different way, has a different route, or whatever they want to go. But Brian, I want to talk about it a little bit because there was a couple of more trades that was made. I know we talked about some trades and some trades you was unaware of last week. You know what I'm saying? So maybe some of these may, tickle your fancy a little bit if you didn't find out about it. First trade, let's talk about this. Is Justin Fields has finally gotten out of Chicago. He will be a Pittsburgh Steeler right behind Russell Wilson. That's right, people. That's right. Justin Fields is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, no longer the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. He will join Russell Wilson in the quarterback room. Russell Wilson seems to be all right with it. He's happy. He's like, cool, man. Russell, the QB room is gonna be fire. It's gonna be hot. Hey, look. In my opinion, I feel that Justin Fields didn't get a fair share in Chicago. Didn't really have a lot of pieces around him, things to help him out and succeed. Sometimes it can be a number of things that that can cause these players to not do their best in these certain situations. But I think with him under a coach like Mike Tomlin, I think that they could possibly get the best out of Fields. And maybe even if Pittsburgh is not his final stop, wherever he may go, he's going to be a better quarterback than what he had shown in Chicago. Not saying he was bad, But I think that Mike Tomlin will be able to bring out even more better intangibles to help that locker room out. I don't like it necessarily because these guys in the AFC North for my Bengals, but hey, it is what it is. One hell of a trade for me, man. I don't know. It's my opinion, man. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, Fields, because I know they was going back and forth with that. Brian, what you think, man?
Um, I like it. I mean, it's weird. They just got Russell Wilson, and I wonder, how Russell Wilson really feels about it. He he's a good teammate generally. Well, that could be debatable, right? Because for some reason there was an issue in Seattle to where some of the defensive guys had a problem with Russell Wilson. They supposedly they weren't able to talk to him. And
I heard about that.
Pete Carroll told them to if you have something to say to him, talk to me. Bring it to
Mm,
me and I'll go to him. And supposedly Russell Wilson had this thing to where no, I don't need to talk to you guys. Why are you guys talking to me? So his squeaky clean image took a hit with that
mm-hmm.
information coming out. He generally says things correctly in public. So he said, hey, it's good to see Justin Fields coming in. We're going to have a fire quarterback room. This is dope. But how does he really feel about it? Pittsburgh apparently has said, I don't know if this has changed, but apparently said Russell Wilson will be the starter.
Yeah,
So
yes, yeah.
they got in front of that with people saying, hey, is there going to be a QB competition? They got in front of that by saying, hey, we're going to name Russell Wilson the starter right now.
Right.
So I don't know why they would sign or trade for Justin Fields when they already have a starter there. Maybe it's a good idea just in case Russell Wilson goes down. But when you have two capable quarterbacks, there's if you start off rocky, you hit any kind of turbulence going through your season, the first thing the fans are gonna do, or anybody, just the talking heads, the pundits, everybody's gonna say, does Justin Fields need to take over at quarterback? So you're creating controversy in your QB situation just by having two capable guys on your roster. Now, who wouldn't want to have two capable guys on your roster? I guess everybody would, but it may be an issue at some point.
I understand where you're going. I'm looking at it as you have a veteran in Russell Wilson. You have a quarterback with similar abilities in Justin Fields. It brings me to not my next point, but the next move that was made because with Justin Fields, even actually with the signing of Russell Wilson going to Pittsburgh, it ended up making Kenny Pickett get traded to Philadelphia. So Pickett is no longer a Pittsburgh Steeler. He'd be backing up Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia.
He had a problem. He had a problem with, and a lot of QBs have a problem when you bring another capable guy in that's seen as
That
a
part.
starter. So
That
he
part.
had he had a problem with Russell Wilson coming in. And he said, "Hey, I want out of here." And
That part.
he didn't want to back up Russell. He's still going to end up as a backup in Philadelphia. I guess he feels better about that situation since I guess maybe he thinks they're a better team. They're going to go for a championship. But Jalen Hurts is a pretty durable QB from what
Yes,
we've
he is.
seen so far.
Yes, he is.
So I don't see why I don't necessarily think that's a better situation for him. But who knows? Injuries happen all the time. Philly is the famous place where you had an MVP candidate QB go down late in the season, and another QB came and stepped in and took them to the Super Bowl and won the
And
Super
one.
Bowl.
And one. Yes, we
That
know about
happened. That happened in Philadelphia. So
that.
he has that history, I guess, to look possibly forward to.
Um, See, this is what happens when you get a young quarterback and you give him the reins and basically tell everybody we're going to stick with Pickett. We're gonna stick with this quarterback. We want him to be the future. This is that and third. But it's been obvious the last couple of seasons that Kenny Pickett is not exactly where they want him to be. Um, and whatever the blame may be, whoever you put it on, whether it's the front office, whether it's Mike Tomlin, whoever the case may be, they felt like they needed an upgrade at the QB position.
I
So
mean, it's
I don't feel bad about the Russell Wilson thing, um, and I don't feel about the Justin Fields thing. I do understand that some guys get in their feelings. They feel like they've just been betrayed, been hurt. They want to leave, and if that's the case, so be it. You know, it is a business at the end of the day. But I mean, what can you say, man? What can you say?
it's a downgrade for Justin Fields. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, the organization, the Chicago fans, they may feel cheated if Caleb Williams or whoever Chicago picks at number one doesn't come in and do a good job. They may feel cheated, but
Mm,
it's a down. It's look at it from Justin Fields' standpoint. It's a downgrade because he's not the starter, and he doesn't
yeah,
even have. And apparently, according to Pittsburgh front office and coaching, he doesn't even have a chance to get the starting job. They've already named Russell Wilson the starter, so he knows he's going straight to the bench. So he went from starting in the league for 2 years
yes, he did. To
to a
now
bench
bench.
role. For a
Yeah,
young guy, that has to hurt. And a lot of these guys make money, but they also want to play. They want to be productive.
of course, of course. Again, I'm not putting it back on Fields. I don't think Fields had the necessary pieces to help him be successful with his tenure in Chicago. I think fans are split right down the middle in Chicago about this trade. I think half of them like Fields and wanted Fields to stay, but to see him leave and now you're looking at a team that doesn't have a quarterback, so it's obviously since they do have the first pick, they're going to be drafting a quarterback. Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, one of these guys could be Phoenix. Whoever the case may be, everybody's saying that it may be Caleb Williams. Let's see. Whoever that they do pick is going to have to come in and do a lot better than what Fields did to, get over that hump and that doubt. I'm telling you, whoever that they choose, they have to do better off top in their first year because if they don't, Chicago fans are going to be real pissed at the front office.
They're gonna have Keenan Allen there now. They got it. They still have DJ Mooney or what
Yeah,
they still have that other wide receiver. So he'll have two solid wide receivers. He's gonna have some weapons, and if it's Caleb Williams, we'll see how he does. Keelan Allen is a guaranteed legitimate target who's going to get open. He's a great route runner. He has good hands. So if you can get him the ball, um,
yeah. I'm glad you said
they're
Keenan
going to
Allen.
do some things.
Yeah, Allen was going to be my next one I was going to talk about, man, because Keenan Allen going from the Chargers over here to the Bears. Keenan said that they trying to work some things out. They're trying to make some moves in Chicago. I hope so, man. It's going to be kind of weird to see him in the Bears uniform.
Yeah,
See
and
him in the
anything but a
Chargers.
charge. Yeah, that hurts. It hurts me as a Charger fan. It really hurts to see him go. His nickname is Slayer, and that it hurts to see Slayer go, man. And it's
Yeah,
just,
man.
man,
Keenan
that
Allen
that
can ball.
that hurts.
Keenan Allen can ball.
He has points. He has points where he's unstoppable. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
he really can be. So he can get on a roll inside of a game or inside of 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and he gets on stretches where uh, he's unstoppable. I mean, he can have 100-yard games easy. He can get 10 catches, 20 catches. He got 20 or 21 catches in a game last season. I remember that. And yeah, he can really catch fire and just be unstoppable.
On a side note, man, looking at your Chargers, they've lost Keenan Allen, they've lost Austin Eckler. Looks like they're going to be losing Mike Williams.
They
Um,
did. They released him.
they released him. Okay, so now Herbert has nothing, and this is
We
in no way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to distance him because we went to the Chargers game and everything like that. I got respect for this. I've always had respect for the Chargers, but what the hell? I mean, I know Harbaugh's the new coach and whatnot, but what are you know, for a guy like Herbert who actually has flashes and shown lots of talent, y'all are giving him nothing
What is he
to
doing?
work
What are
with.
they doing? So what are they doing? It looks like Harbaugh and the new GM. I can't think of his name right now, but we do have a G. We did sign a GM, and he's the new GM. It looks like their main focus was getting under the salary cap. So that was their whole focus with their first few moves. They wanted Keenan Allen to take a pay cut. Basically, they wanted him to restructure his deal. He said, "I'm not doing that because I just came off my best season in the league, so I'm not
Right.
taking a pay cut."
Which he shouldn't.
So, and that's the reason why he was traded. So obviously, they're gonna have to build uh, their receiving core through the draft. We have the
Yeah.
fifth. We have the fifth pick. A lot of people are asking them. Some analysts, a lot of these pundits, and some of these mock drafts, for whatever reason, I keep saying that we're gonna take an O lineman fifth, and I don't see that. We just signed an O lineman recently, so we picked up an O lineman in free agency. We picked up two tight ends in free agency.
Okay.
So so we picked up Will Disley and Hayden Hurst.
Oh,
Barn
Hurst.
burner. These are not barn burner tight ends, but they serviceable.
Yeah, we
So
had
the
Hurst. We had Hurst before. So yeah,
so the
you
tight
get
end the tight end position has already been addressed. So we don't have to really go there in the draft. They could, six round, seven round if they want to. We're gonna end up with two fourth round picks because of the Allen trade. So, if you wanted to go tight end fourth round, but I doubt it, Uh, the first round, we can only hope to get one of those top two wide receivers, Harrison Jr.
mm,
or the other. I can't think of his name. I'm sorry, but the other one. So there's two top wide receivers going, and a lot of mock drafts have them going 3 and 4 right in front of five. So
mm.
if both of those guys are going before we pick, then we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem. Then we have to worry about what we're gonna do with that pick. Maybe they'll trade it down for another wide receiver that might be available or something like that.
Right.
So Cincinnati has
Yeah.
a few wide receivers that they may have to do something with pretty soon. So maybe we can make a deal with Cincinnati if one of them wide receivers is not available.
Well, I think we're gonna
At,
hold on to T with that franchise tag. If anything, you guys will probably be looking at Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati. Very good. I mean, he was the third receiver, but boy can play. Boy can play.
yeah,
So
he's a really
you
good
know,
player. He's making a lot of money, so I don't know if the Chargers want to go in that position. They gotta hope one of them wide receivers is there at five. They have to hope that those first four positions, at least two or three of those are QBs,
yeah.
and then we can get one of those. They gotta hope three of those are QBs because I forget who's for. Somebody's gonna take a wide receiver
Oh yeah,
before
most
us.
definitely, most definitely,
A
most
wide
definitely.
receiver, one of them wide receivers will be gone when we get to five. Now, hopefully one of them is there, and we can get whichever one is not taken in front of us.
No doubt, man. Also, before we get to that second point, man, Chase Young, he is now a part of the New Orleans Saints, his third team, I believe. He was with Washington, then he went to San Francisco for a year, and now he's with the New Orleans Saints. So let's see how he does with that, man. Hoping for the best for that guy. I know he was dealing with some injuries for a little bit, but let's see how that goes, man. Definitely. On to my next point. Um, there was a video that circulated around Shaquille O'Neal on his big podcast. Shaq came out and said that there was people in the league, including himself, that feared Jordan, but nobody feared LeBron. I'm going to play this. I want you guys to check this out. Let me get it up and pop it for you real quick. Let me get this off the screen. Y'all tell me what you think. Here we go.
So I've heard players say, including myself, I feared Mike. I've heard players in your generation say they feared Kobe. Never really heard any players say they fear LeBron.
Hey, I got killed for that.
Why is that?
I didn't think players really feared LeBron like we did Jordan.
I never heard anybody say it.
And it's not that you shouldn't fear Bron. I just think at the end of the day, Bron has been through so much that he wanted to be liked. So it was kind of like,
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do things
nice.
now where like people like me, people respect. You're always gonna respect what he did, but you actually like Bron and want to be a fan of Bron now. So I think that's what that was.
It's true. Like Kobe had that stage, MJ had the stage, and then towards the end, they kind of opened up to people.
Right.
LeBron was kind of open up to people the whole
time. And then they made him when they turned their back on him when he left Cleveland. So that was the thing that kind of switched it.
Well, I've heard players.
Kind of made an interesting point right there at the end. They turned him into a bad guy. And that's what kind of made him switch up.
They who?
Are you saying the people? Media? Fans? Turn LeBron into the bad guy?
But that doesn't really correlate to him saying the players didn't fear him. Those two comments don't necessarily relate to each other. Those are separate things. So he can be a villain or disliked by a lot of the fan base, but what does that have to do with players fearing him on the court when they play against him?
I think this is, of course, it's just my opinion. I think people look at Jordan, people look at Kobe, people look at those two guys, and when you look at them, you see a predator, you see a killer, you see a dog, you see a shark, you see a guy that can. You're damn near scared to you're almost scared to fucking defend the guy.
You see a guy that can rip your guts out. He can literally
pretty much.
It's
like, you don't want to be embarrassed by any of these guys, because it's just gonna be just you won't hear it. I mean, you're gonna hear it for the rest of your life, the rest of your career, even in retirement. Jordan did spark that fear in guys. I mean, we've talked about it before. It's a lot of Hall of Famers that Jordan stopped from getting championships because he was that good. Jordan went 6-0 in the finals. You look at guys like Kobe. Kobe went with 5-2, but Kobe had the dog in him just like Jordan did. And everybody knew when Kobe got the ball, shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were Jordan and Kobe. Speaking of Jordan and Kobe, they were more menacing figures.
Right.
So they were just like what's his name said, like his comments made the most sense is that LeBron, he wanted to be liked, and he was just he didn't have the whole menacing standoff
mentality.
Yeah,
quote
well,
unquote.
I wouldn't equate it to the Mamba mentality. It's just it's different. They were just more. They didn't want to be your friend, or they didn't want to show. Nobody would have ever knew that Kobe and AI got along off the court. That they were cool off the court, because on the court while they were playing, they went at each other. They talk shit to each other on the court. You know what I'm saying? So you would have never knew they were more antagonistic during the game. So it almost made it seem like, man, these guys hate each other in real life.
Right.
You would have never knew that they were actually talking to each other after the games during the finals.
Right. Right.
Nobody would have figured that. So it's just a different, it's just they had different on court personas, more competitive on the court. I'm not shaking your hands. I'm not being your friend. And Jordan got that from the Pistons.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
Jordan got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordan got that from the Celtics and the Pistons era.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
When he was coming up.
The Celtics and Lakers, the Pistons and Celtics, the Pistons and Lakers, that era, that 80s, that mid 80s, throughout the 80s, really, throughout the 80s and early 90s era, these guys, they they never showed on-court love like that. They always acted like they hated each other. And they really did low-key hate each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
In a
saying?
sense. In a
They
sense.
in a sense they disliked each other. So they weren't buddy buddy on the court. The first time Magic and Isaiah showed love to anybody like on court was when they what is it? They like kissed or something like that during it was like an all-star game, or maybe it was after a game. That didn't happen until like the 90s. You know what I'm saying? To where they like really kind of showed love to each other. But before that, you had instances where Jordan tried to shake. He finally beat the Pistons, and he wanted to shake their hands because
And
he
then
would
none of
all,
them did it.
and none of them did it. They all walked off the court, and they refused to
Yeah.
acknowledge him that they finally lost to him, because
Yeah. Yeah.
he would lose to them, and he would still shake their hand when he lost. And he figured, hey, I finally beat you guys. You guys should show me that respect, to at least, acknowledge me that I beat you guys. And them guys, they were so hurt over losing, and they were so mad that they just walked off the court and they wouldn't return that. So I believe that's what turned Jordan into, okay, every y'all want to be like this? Well, fuck everybody. Like, I'm just gonna kill you guys. I'm not gonna act like I'm your friend. I'm not gonna act like, you know what I'm saying, that I want to shake your hand. I'm not, I'm if I'm the villain, if I'm gonna be the bad guy, I'm gonna go full Scarface.
Full force in it. Full force in it.
Full Scarface.
Yeah.
Say hello to the
Say
bad
hello
guy.
to the bad guy. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Kobe was kind of the same way. LeBron was never, like I said, LeBron straight from the beginning, he was never really like that, like antagonistic to other players, giving them the scowl face and all that. Like he would go into headband LeBron mode. He would go into LeBron serious mode and all that, and get serious on the court or whatever like that. But he was just never you know that intimidating kind of menacing kind of figure. He didn't have that in him. That wasn't his personality.
What up, big game, man? Shout out
Yeah,
to you,
what
man.
up? Big game in
Um,
the house. Big game in the house.
no doubt. Let me ask you, Brian. Who would you rather have on your team if you're in
Ah,
the
here we
NBA? No, no, I'm just asking, like what mentality would rather have on your team that you feel like? Would you rather have that killer guy, Jordan or Kobe, or would you rather have that nice guy, LeBron?
I want the guy that's gonna help me win. I want the guy. I don't necessarily think uh their personality aesthetic necessarily matters to a certain extent. Well, okay, you asked me who I would rather have: the Jordan, Kobe, AI, Brady kind of guy. I would rather have that fiery kind of like
That
fuck
killer
you,
dude.
like that killer dude. Like, I mean, Philip Rivers was like that. I mean,
Yeah,
Philip Rivers was like that. I mean, I would rather have that guy because
because hello. Ooh, Brian, I think you went off on me, bro. I think you went off on me, Brian. I can't hear you, man. Can't hear you. Let me double check. Let me give him my guy. Big game, you make a point, man. So is LeBron too passive? I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I can necessarily say that. Him being too passive is hard for me to put that into perspective. Um, I think that if we had a LeBron, if LeBron had the Jordan Kobe mentality, if he had that type of mentality, we would see a whole nother different LeBron in the game. What's up? Brian is back, no doubt.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, yes, LeBron is too LeBron might be too passive at certain
Okay,
times.
okay.
Yes, I answer that question. Big Game says
Oh man, he's kicking my boy out. Something's going on, Brian. I can't hear you again, bro. You just click back out on me. Um, yeah, try it again, man. Try it again. But we'll keep on going. Um, he could be too passive in some sense because I look at it sometimes and I think that there are times where, um, and we've seen it plenty of times where you would think that LeBron would go ahead and take over, but he necessarily does. He passes. LeBron makes the right play. You know what I'm saying? LeBron makes the right play, but Jordan and Kobe, they made the plays to win the game. LeBron would make the right pass, you know what I'm saying, to the open person and everything like that. But when it was in the closing minutes, you knew the ball was going to Jordan. You knew the ball was going to Kobe. You knew that they was going to take that last shot to win the game. Win, lose, or draw, they wanted that stuff on their back. You don't necessarily see that too much with LeBron. So I can see where you see where the passiveness is. I can see that. I can see that. Moving on, man. My next point, before I even get to this next point, I want to let it be known that us here on BGSC Network, we love everybody, everybody in every kind of community. What you do in your life and in your household is what you do. We love everybody, man. But this was a interesting thing that came about. Okay, it was a women's team in Massachusetts, and I'm gonna play the video here shortly. But it was a team that ended up forfeiting because the other team had a transgender player. Now, it wasn't the fact that they had a transgender player. It was the fact that the transgender player was injuring their players and ended up injuring about three girls, if I'm not mistaken, three girls on the squad. Where the team had to just say, "Look, fuck it, we gonna forfeit because this shit ain't fair." Let me go ahead and bring this up to you guys so y'all can check. Check this out, man. She's hurt, of course. Shut again for the people who didn't see. Now you can obviously tell that this transgender woman is about 6 feet tall, a lot taller than the females, and injuring players left or right. So, and this was in Massachusetts, and the team decided that they decided they were going to go ahead and forfeit the game because they just felt like it wasn't fair. Now, the big question is this fair? Is it not? Big
do
A
we
said the real life
do
Joanna, man.
I mean, do we even have to ask? Why are we asking this question? I don't understand how we got here. Of course, it's not fair.
Of course it's not. Of course
It's
it's not,
it's
man.
it's obviously not fair. I don't understand how. I do
I don't
understand. I do
I
understand.
don't understand how that even becomes how that was even integrated. You know what I'm saying? Um, not saying that transgender people cannot play sports or anything like that, but let's just be real with it. Um, that's not fair that a boy is or a man is playing with females in a competitive competition like that. You could clearly see that the player was twice the size, stronger, whatever you want to call it. Um, no, man. I think men's sports should be for men's sports. Women's sports should be for women's sports. Now, when it comes to the transgender, maybe a different category to where that can, that can be in effect and, they can have a fair shot at what it is, but not at all is that fair, in my
It's
opinion. It's,
it's
it's not at all. Not at all. Again,
it's
I'm not trying to diss anybody or anything like that with their lifestyles, but when we're talking about competitive sports, we've all played competitive sports at some point in time. It's not fair. And shout out to Big Game because I agree with the statement. Transgender athletes need their own league. I agree. I do agree.
I I would say that I agree with that statement. One of the problems with that is that there's not enough of them to form a league or maybe even a full team in some of these districts. So you have high school districts, uh, junior sports leagues, and stuff like that, to where uh, they can't, they wouldn't be able to form probably not even two full teams, right? So you're going to need at least what, 12 players per team. You need starters, you need bench players. Say if
Mm-hmm.
you have two or three coming off the bench. So if you can find 16 of them, then you can field two teams. Who are they going to play? Each other for the entire season. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, the solution is for players to play as the gender of their assigned birth in that league. So whatever gender is your assigned birth, you play against that gender. So if your assigned gender was male, and they say assigned gender, like, see, I'm even using their terms, right? Because what they say is that your gender is assigned by a doctor at birth, and it's not natural, and you're not just naturally a male at birth. No, you're a male. So whatever you're born as, if you're born as a male, then you play against the males.
Big
If you're
Game, you
born
wild.
as a if you're born as a female, then you play as a female. That's what I believe, and it's not fair for because it doesn't happen. We don't see this in the reverse. You don't see
Which is true.
you don't see a trans person who was born a female playing in the male league, because they would still get hurt a lot of times,
Yeah.
especially in a football situation. It could be baseball, or even especially in football, but they could even get hurt in basketball. They could get hurt in baseball. They could get hurt in hockey. They could get hurt. I mean, we've separated sports by gender for a reason. There is literal reasons for it. And it's a shame to me that we've even got to this point. The
Hmm.
reason why we got to this
You
point,
reading my
obviously,
mind, bro.
the reason
You
why we
reading
got
my
to the
mind.
the reason why we got to this point, obviously, is because people are scared to be called homophobic, transphobic, any other kind of phobic. They're afraid to be called a bigot, and they want to be liberal, and they want to be accepting of any and all life decisions that people make. But in this situation, I think we have to be more realistic. And the military is still somewhat realistic in this sense. because when it comes to the draft, they've already said that males will be drafted, females are not added to the draft, and transgender people who born males will still be eligible for the draft. It doesn't exclude you from the draft by changing your gender, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with locker rooms. Female locker rooms should be for females. It's the same. It's the same thing for bathhouses, for gyms, any gyms, for bathrooms. I understand this is a very controversial.
Very. It is. It
It's a
is.
controversial subject. It's a controversial topic, and you're gonna catch heat from the activists for being on the different side of this opinion. But
Word.
that's how, and like you said, I don't have any hate for them. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not phobic of them or anything like that. I don't have
Me
that.
neither. Me neither.
I don't have that in me. But I have to live by reality. That's just me personally.
I'm glad you said that, Brian. And again, you know, us on the BGSC network, man, we respect everybody, everybody's opinions, everybody's thoughts, everybody's way of life. Um, but in certain situations, the truth has to, you know, the truth has to be the truth. And we could definitely go on a whole nother. I mean, this alone can be its own show. You know what I'm saying? This topic alone can be its own show. But save that for another time.
I mean,
In the
their
grand,
lies, their lies about there not being a competitive advantage is it's a lie, man. It's not truthful. There is a competitive advantage.
I mean, we
Speed,
saw it
speed.
in that video, in that small sample size of a video. You saw the competitive advantage that the transgender girl, or whatever you want to call it, had over all the other girls. Look how tall they were compared to what the girls were.
The swimmer,
The swimmer,
the
yeah,
track runners,
all of that, man. Yeah,
the wrestlers, the weightlifters, the I mean, they've been dominating women's sports and biking and almost every sport they get into. In every sport they get into, they dominate. There's the women, the real females, the real young ladies, they have no chance. And the young ladies are scared to speak up about it because they will be, especially when they get to high school and college, because they're ostracized, because the administration goes after them, because the public goes after them, because the liberal media goes after them. And so a lot of times the only people that they should have in their corner fighting for them is the parents. But then the parents are labeled as racist, homophobic, misogynistic. They're labeled as they're labeled with all these different isms.
it's a
And
lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose situation because if you speak about it, like you said, you get labeled with all of that. It's almost like they want you to allow that, but then where is the fairness in it? Sports was created for the fairness. Okay, it was created to see the best people of the same kind be fair in it, you know, in its own recollection. You have women just separated, like you said, for a reason. Women's sport, men's sports. Um, Again, and then I hear the common theme that a lot of people say is that, well, they couldn't make it, you know, in the men's league, so they feel like they had to go to the women's league.
every time these guys are
Every time.
77th position, they'll be 77th. They'll be 20. Their best finish in their men's league would be 24th. And they will finish second in the women's league or first. A lot of times they're finishing within the top 3 for sure. And when you and just the previous year before, the previous 2 years before, when they were playing against men, they were not even middle of the road. They were like bottom of the pack against
Yeah,
men.
yeah.
So it's uh,
That's all you can say, bro. I understand it, bro. I understand it. Completely understand. With that being said, people, that is my 3 points. Agree to disagree. Please like, comment, every good thing that you can. Shout out to Big Game. He says you can't switch where you compete to feel better about yourself. I agree with you, brother. I agree with you, brother. Just step your game up. Get yourself better. Get yourself better. You know what I'm saying? Get that dog mentality in you, man, to be better than the next person, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let's agree or disagree again, man. You guys are in the Monday Man Cave kicking it with me, having a good time doing what we do. Let's go to our next segment. Already, man. Winners and losers, man. This is my segment, man, where I look at what's happened within the past week and whatnot, and I dictate who is my winner for the week, who is my loser for the week. Of course, man, Brian's gonna have his opinions, and I love it all the time. But let's go ahead and say this, man. My winner this week is none other than Mr. Game Winner himself, Kyrie Irving, and what he did in that Dallas Maverick game. If nobody paid attention to it, if anybody watched it, they were playing the champions, I believe. They won last year, the Denver Nuggets. Last second game, man. Um, Mavs was down 102-105. Luka hits a three to tie the game up. Mavs end up getting the ball back at the last bit of the game, and Kyrie Irving puts up one of the best game winners that I've ever seen in my life. I'm definitely going to share this with y'all so you can see it. Let's check into it right now. Kyrie Irving, you're my winner, sir. Here we go.
Even inbound. Kleba looking in for Irving. Irving for the win. Oh my! A southpaw finish from Kyrie Irving. Just absurd.
I want to watch it one more time, yo.
Inbound.
I'm a Mavs fan.
Kleba looking in for Irving. Irving for the win. Oh my! A southpaw finish from Kyrie Irving. Just absurd.
See, these things are always that much better when it's your team that does it. When it's your team that does it, it feels so much better. You know what I'm saying? But the interesting thing is that Kyrie did this during Ramadan. If anybody doesn't know Ramadan, Ramadan is a religious holiday for Muslims where they fast and whatnot. And Kyrie actually said after the game that he had did this. He's gone, I believe he said 48 hours without eating or anything like that. So I don't know where he got the reserve energy from. He said, shout out to God Almighty. But amazing, man, that anybody can do this, especially with the left hand, especially over the MVP Joker, Nikola Jokic. Like, damn, man. I'm so glad that Kyrie has found a place that he can call home. And really, and I'm gonna just be honest. I really feel like Kyrie has never been the issue. A lot of people in the NBA, a lot of guys in the NBA say that Kyrie was never the issue. That the media kind of just made him out to be this bad guy and this, dog or whatever the case may be. Especially when he came out with those, well, what y'all call anti-Semitic comments, whatever. I'm glad that he's found a home here in Dallas, man. He loves it. We love him. Hey, man, that's probably one of the best game winners I've ever seen in my entire life. Seriously, man. Seriously. So yeah, Kyrie, shout out to you, man. You're my winner for the week, man. What you feel, B?
It's
B,
great.
Brian, you actually text us, man. You like, did you see that game with about Kyrie? Yeah, the end of the game. Yeah.
I had the privilege of watching that live. It was a great shot. It was a great shot, and with the left hand, that was the only way he could do it. Um, he's moving from basically right to left. He comes around a kind of a curl, and the only way he tries to shoot that with the right, and it gets blocked.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
only way to get it over Jokic was to go with the left hand, and a left hand floater. That's not a strong hand. That's his offhand, and he's good with the left, but he's still a right-handed player.
Yes, he is.
So to do that with your offhand, I can only think of a few players ever who could probably make that. Bird played a game where he only shot with the left hand, only like the left hand the whole game. There's a clip of that. There's highlights of this online. You can go look at that. He made it a point to only shoot with the left hand, and he was killing with the left hand. I don't know who challenged him to do that or why he thought to do that, but it was crazy. So Kobe was very strong with the left hand in instances. You'll see him shoot left hand floaters, left hand shots, left hand jump shots when he had to. And Kyrie, man, I mean, that's to do that with your offhand. I mean, a lot of players shoot layups and stuff like that with their offhand, but to shoot a game winning floater from 20 feet away, falling away with 1 second left. I mean, that's at the buzzer. I mean, that's amazing, bro. Like you said, it's one of the best game winners I've seen.
Man, shout out again, man. Shout out again, Kyrie. Thank you. I'm so glad you were Maverick. And he's always been one of my favorite players, man. Always been one of my favorite players. Ever since I've seen the guy come into the league, man. Remember his days in Cleveland, him starting off, and everything he went through. And he
And
is a champion.
the criticism of him as a person has been very unfair.
Hell yeah.
He's been
Hell yeah.
very unfairly targeted by the media. He's only shown nothing but growth personally throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was with the Celtics and he said, he wanted to be a leader of the team, and during the season he realized that being a leader was a lot harder than what he thought it would be. And they killed him for making those statements instead of saying, hey, this actually shows growth as a person, because he's understanding what LeBron actually was going through. And some people aren't naturally very strong leaders like that. And for him to come into the understanding of that, he didn't want to be that, guy, that headstrong kind of, guy that wanted to take all the responsibility of leading and everything like that. That actually shows more maturity than it shows immaturity, because he's understanding who he is. His search for knowledge while he was with Brooklyn, not wanting to take the vax and everything like that, making a personal decision and standing up for that. He's been very, very unfairly targeted as a person.
Yeah, he is. I'm glad you brought that up, man. But like you say, you have seen this young man grow in more ways than one. Family man, just all around guy, not
spiritually and everything like that.
spiritually. All of that.
He was in a search for himself, for knowledge and spirituality and everything like that. And
Anybody should have the right to do that. Anybody should have the right to do it on their own terms. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out though, Kyrie, amazing game winner, Now, let's get to the loser. Let's get ready to close out the show now.
Who lost this week? Who lost?
Well, if you can see the title, I came across this. Can't necessarily say that I agree. Can't necessarily say that I disagree, but fuck it. I'm gonna just say it. I don't agree.
Wait, what type? A banner? Did you put a banner up? I don't see anything.
No, I'm about to put the banner on right now. Amber Rose wants 20 minutes. I came across this actually, on X and whatnot, and you'll be surprised what she said she wants the 20 mil from. Let's go ahead and see this as well.
From Kanye.
You guessed it. Here we go.
No.
On the Nicki Monster thing.
I don't think so.
Could have
No.
got something. You should have got something.
I should have got $20 million for my beautiful dark twisted fantasy, but I didn't get nothing. I should have got money for the wax figure that he used without my consent, butt naked, but I didn't get nothing. I didn't get any money from anything. Like I should have, I should have been compensated in some way for using my likeness in so many songs and the wax figure.
Credit or no points on the Nicki Monster.
Hey, man.
How was that? How was that so predictable? Oh my God. I didn't even know that. Oh my God. So predictable. That's crazy. Obviously the richest man she's ever dealt with. So if you put up a banner that says Amber Rose wants 20 million, what's your first guess gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who has 20 million?
Of course. Does she make a justifiable statement?
No, somebody else wanted. It was another model recently, either a model or IG lady wanted she was on the cover of somebody's album, and she said she should have been paid royalties for being on the cover of an album. Who was that? That also happened recently.
I have to look that up and see.
So you don't get royalties for being on the cover of an album. You don't get album royalties for that. Like you don't. Where did she come up with the 20 million figure? How does she calculate that?
I don't know. From what she's saying, she was Kanye's quote unquote muse for the album. She's saying wax figures and everything like that. That Kanye had used for the songs. I know that cover was kind of weird and it was blurred out, but I think that was him and her. Whatever, man.
Kanye was infatuated with Kim Kardashian around that time. During that period, Kanye, if you listen to a lot of the songs on there, that's who I thought he was referring to. I didn't think he was referring to Amber Rose, honestly. So she could be
Oh, you just broke up right at the last minute, bro. You broke up at the last minute. Well, there you go. I thought I heard you, Brian. God damn it. He'll be back because I still want to get his final thought. I can be very harsh with what I say. I'm trying to decide, should I be that harsh? Because I don't want to get into any trouble with the BGSC network or anything like that. I don't want to get flagged, anything like that. So I try to keep my words and everything that I want to say about certain things. I just try to keep it to a minimum. Let's bring Brian back in. Here we go. There you go. What was you saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying. If you listen, I don't know if everybody has heard the album. You know, you got some people who don't listen to Kanye like that, but I do. I've been a Kanye fan from the beginning, from when he first came out, and that's who I thought he was referring to. Is Kim. Like he had a friendship with Kim before he was chasing Kim for a while. Like Kim didn't want to mess with him. You know what I'm saying? So like I low-key thought that whole album was built around like talking about her, like before he even got with her. I want to say that album came out before they got married, and I believe it came out before they were even dating like that.
Yeah, I think way before that, yeah.
But he was still chasing her around that time, and I low-key think that album was built around talking about her. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought she was the insert of that album, not necessarily Amber Rose. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, Maybe he was talking about Amber. I didn't see it that way. I've always thought that album was about Kim. That's what I've always thought. The one he always wanted, and he finally got her. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought that album was about.
I'm looking at this as somebody who wants to always stay relevant within the limelight. People, and the way that I look at it is, Amber got her relevancy because of Kanye West. You benefited and you profited off of him as much as you possibly can because you dating Kanye West got your name in your face in the spotlight.
On the map, yeah. She wasn't on the.
It put you
Yeah,
on the map.
yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, you guys have split up. You've gone your separate ways. You've had kids with Wiz Khalifa. You're doing whatever you're doing with God knows whoever else. So in no way, shape, or form does Kanye need to compensate you for anything. Kanye gave you an avenue by putting you on the map, giving you the look. This is that and the third. Okay, it didn't work. Bam, you went on to do other bigger, better things on your name alone. Why all of a sudden out of this time right now? And I don't know how long ago that album came out, but now you're claiming that you should have got the 20 million and stuff like that. I wouldn't give you a damn cent.
Plenty of art.
Wouldn't even give you a look.
Plenty of artists, and we're not even talking about just musical artists. We're talking about actual artists, drawers, like painters, sculptors have used either women, specific women, historical figures, and stuff like that to draw inspiration from for their art. Should all those people who were influenced by somebody, one or another, should the person who they were influenced by get compensated based on influencing some form of art? So if that's the case, should all these men who Taylor Swift was using in her songs,
let's go,
should all these men
all
that
of them should be compensated?
Should all these men that
for being the subject of her songs?
All these women artists who use real men that was in their life as inspiration for breakup songs, hate men songs, all kind of, heartbreak songs and stuff like that. Like a whole Taylor Swift album. I don't listen to Taylor Swift, but I've read some of this stuff and I've heard about some of her writing, right? Because she writes all of her music and a lot of her music is personalized. You know what I'm saying? You have other females who've written songs about people they were dating or included, inserted the men in their life. Like, what's his name? The one that the rapper that passed away. Everybody love him. White dude, right? He was
Mac
dating.
Miller?
He was dating a singer, right? And didn't she put him in a song or something? She
Ariana
made a
Grande.
song. Yeah, she made a song about him. I mean, so like, should all the males be compensated?
When you look at it like that, and we know that there's not going to be any kind of compensation whatsoever. It's not going to be any kind of compensation for somebody being your muse and all of that. But I mean, let's just be real about this. Like, for her to even come out and say that shit, this is dumb. That's dumb. That's pardon my French, and I'm just gonna say it. It's a hoe trying to be a richer hoe.
So who was Gold Digger about?
Gold Digger?
Kanye's joint? Yeah, who was that about? She didn't say, "Oh, Gold Digger was about me." She didn't say that. Did she say that? I ain't seen the whole interview, but I would love for her to say that. Yeah, Gold Digger was about me. I should have been compensated for that. Tell the truth. Who was that one about?
I wouldn't know. But shit, he probably got something.
She ain't messing with no. She ain't messing with no broke man.
Yeah. Well, it would not hurt to compensate. We all know. What is hot today is not hot later, and those people are nearly forgotten. Grandizer, I feel you. I feel you on that, but it's still bullshit in the end.
you're not compensated for being inspiration like of like that just
I mean, me being an artist myself, and I write songs and whatnot, and I have inspiration out of anything and everything, whatever that can come to mind. There's been different artists, different people that just came in my brain. You can listen to some record, you can hear some of the inspirations that I've had, if you can kind of piece together, man. Um, man, I ain't got money like that to compensate to a motherfucker just for being my muse like that.
but I'm
I
saying
just
like you don't even a lot of times people make art not necessarily
the
like
sun can
thinking
inspire you.
like
Fact.
not necessarily thinking that it'll blow up, but like say okay, yeah, this is gonna blow up for sure. Like this song that I'm making, this is gonna be a hit. Like once you become a hit maker, like a person like Kanye, like sometimes when you got a hit on your hand, right? Like I'm sure Dr. J was in the lab and he was putting something together. He's like, oh, this shit about to be fire for sure, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so sometimes you can tell it's gonna be a hit, sometimes you don't know it's gonna be a hit, sometimes you're just throwing something out there. But uh if you I mean, I guess if you're taking a specific person, right? And I don't know. I still don't see how you're supposed to say, okay, I'm gonna give you some money for because what's to say they're gonna think that it's enough in the long run? Because you make 100 million off that album and they say, well, you gave me 10,000 or 20,000 for this and you made 200 million. I think I'm gonna sue you for another 40 million or something. I think I should have got 40 million instead of 20,000. I think I should have got 100,000. I think I should have got 800,000. This Where does it end?
That brings up a very good question, and I'm going to be posting up a video or making a video on TikTok this week, and I want to post that question. I mean, do you feel like a person should be compensated being the inspiration of a work of art? And I want to get everybody's opinions. I'm still getting comments over here. My man Granddad's also, it depends if the music industry wants to push your content. A lot of time they say what is good, which is unfair to the artist, which is also true. Um, but I want to pose that question, man. I want to pose that question. And after we're done with this, anybody that's watching this episode, man, please make sure you put your comments down because I do want to talk about that. Do you actually feel like you should be compensated for being the inspiration of somebody's work of art?
I might not even own my own work of art. Kanye didn't own his albums. He didn't even own his first 4, 5, 6, 7 albums. Like he had his. Remember when he was complaining about his contract and he still had albums to deliver on that contract and he didn't own, like, he don't even own his own music. So a lot of these, especially rappers, singers in the music industry, even Taylor, the same thing happened. Let's go back to Taylor Swift. She didn't own her own music. Like she had to buy her music back or she had to re-record a lot of her music because her music was taken from her or was already owned by someone else. And then Scooter Braun came in and purchased her masters, her first albums. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you don't even so who are you getting the compensation from? Like why are you not suing the record company? But you're suing the actual you're trying to sue the artists who don't even own the music. So a lot of times these artists don't even own their own art. And you're trying to say they should compensate you for art that they created it, but they don't necessarily own it. And like I said, man, I'm still not totally convinced that she was the inspiration for Dark Beautiful Fantasy. I'm not totally convinced that she was even the inspiration for the album. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced.
Man, I feel you, man. Everybody, man, I appreciate you guys. It's MCXPRadio yet once again. Thank you. Please make sure you like, subscribe, smash that bell. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are always checking in with us and everything like that. So any episode that we have, you tune in, man, you hit that bell, man, you can always see when it is up, when it's on and popping. Definitely all the other shows that we got. The Two Birds One Show. My guys out of Philly. Um, Blur the Tube. My man Jay Styles got his own thing going down. My man Big Game who's been in the building. Man, BGSC Network. Big Game Sports Buzz. Make sure you guys are checking that out. All of that good stuff, man. We're doing some big things with this network, and I appreciate you guys, man. Of course, you know I love you. I care about y'all, man. I appreciate you guys always tuning in. I always like to end on that note, man. If you're suffering from anything that you got going on mental health wise, please seek help. I put the number down there every week so you guys can please get some help if you need to. It's always good to have somebody in your corner to talk about these things, and I'm speaking from my own experience. It's good to have people that you could talk to, especially your friends and whatnot, that can tell you the things that you want to hear. But sometimes it's just cool to just talk to a stranger who don't know you. They can probably tell you what you need to hear. Okay, but please, mental health is serious. We need help. If you need the help, please seek the help. All of that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for tuning in so much. Wonderful show, man. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for everybody that was tuning in with the comments and everything like that. I'm enjoying this. Make sure you like it, like the video, man. Once it goes off, man, make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel, MCXPRadio, man. Always doing big things. Till next time, man. Till next time, man. I will be back. I will definitely be back next week. And we'll have another show going on and popping, man. With that being said, I appreciate you and every one of y'all. For myself, for my man Brian, we out this piece, man. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
Cruising in a Rari with the hair and nails and toes done. Always keep it stylish. Never gonna give me.
We're gonna make a lot of women mad at this one, but it's alright.
Never gonna get a shot at romance.